everyone, this is Gene Roddenberry.
Dr. Mohammed Noor.
Adam Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy's son.
This is Leonard Crowfoot.
This is Dr. Aaron McDonald, Star Trek Science Advisor and Lieutenant Commander McDonald on Star Trek Prodigy.
And you're listening to
Humanist Trek.
Humanist Trek.
You're listening to Humanist Trek.
the Humanist Trek podcast.
And you're listening to Humanist Trek, a fabulous, fabulous show.
Enjoy.
And don't worry, you can do your Temporal Mechanics 101 homework later.
Right away, Geordi takes a bite and starts coughing, and he's like,
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
You didn't put no seasoning in there.
Perhaps I could use this as an excuse to go to those far-off planets with little polka-dotted people if necessary, and be able to talk about love, war, nature, God, sex, all those things that go to make up the excitement of the human condition.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Welcome aboard. Jean-Luc Picard to the Starship Enterprise.
You want to review your rapid progress?
That nonsense is centuries behind us. To the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, yeah?
And it's enough, damn it!
Tempo, mon capitan.
To the Starship Enterprise.
But you can't deny that you're still a dangerous, savage child race.
Of the planet Earth.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Nook-neck. And welcome to Humanist Trek. It's a comedy Star Trek podcast about the humanism in Star Trek. I'm Sarah Ray.
And I'm Allie Ashmead.
Happy podiversary!
Happy podiversary! Happy birthday to you. Is there an happy anniversary? Happy anniversary! I'm looking for songs for anniversary.
I love it. Hey, it's been 3 years since we started this.
I was like 3 years since I looked at you. Yeah, it's 3 years.
What the hell?
A time warp. That's great.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it feels like forever and yesterday all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep. Gosh, this is my favorite thing to do on Sunday. And it still makes me like belly laugh, like some of the things that happen. It's just so much fun. I love Star Trek. I love doing this with you. It's just so much fun.
Yeah. Think about it. We could still be like talking politics and all the negative shit going on in the world.
No.
But here we are trying to put a little light and laughter out into the universe. And I think this is such a better use of our time.
Oh man, me too. And as one of the young man that we met at Fort Collins Comic-Con, actually we met him twice. He said, this is your outlet, for all the bad shit that's happening, do something creative.
Yep.
And this is our creative.
Do you have like a standout or favorite moment from the past 3 years?
So many.
I know.
Just whenever I can shock you and make you laugh. I think there was one time where we were both crying.
Yes.
We couldn't stop. And I don't remember what it was. It's probably on one of the blooper reels.
Oh, probably.
Because we were laughing so much that you were both crying. And I'm pretty sure it all got cut. But
probably, yeah.
But it was.
And I still have hours of cut material that needs a home, and I just don't have time to do it.
But yeah,
I like all of the times that I'm very proud of our panels that we've done. The most recent one in Fort Collins, I think was just fantastic, and I love that we get to go out and meet people, and it's crazy that we're doing this like that. That's it for me. It's like,
I know we both had this light bulb in our face. I think
does it have to do with a Sharpie?
Yes. Well, yes. So on 2 occasions, so I felt like a real celebrity. On the cruise, when someone came up to me and said, "Are you Allie?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, what did I do?" And he's like, no, I listened to your podcast. I'm like, oh my God.
What? Yeah.
And I always wonder what happened to Ryan. Hopefully, Ryan, you're still listening. I think his name was Ryan. But that just made me feel like so good. Not that I'm important or anything, but the fact that someone just comes up to me and that doesn't know me and listens.
Yeah.
That means a lot. And then we meet Tim.
Yes.
I think that was what you were going to say.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The look on your face when you were asked to sign an autograph.
I was like, what? Is he sure? Is he sure he wants? Like, what?
You really want to ruin a t-shirt like that?
I was so honored. That just means so much. Like,
it does. Yeah. Like, we're not any kind of celebrity people or even celebrity minded. Like, we didn't get into this because we're any kind of like performers in that way or like looking for any kind of accolade or whatever. Like, we just a couple of friends that wanted to do a silly show and talk about Star Trek. And the fact that anybody listens and likes it to that degree is bonkers.
And I'm super grateful. Like, I'm super grateful that you listen. There's people that like we participate. Our Discord is fun.
Yes.
So thank you for all the people in the Discord that like constantly send memes and talk about the episodes and talk about their away missions and stuff like that. It's just, I love it because we started, we didn't know how this was going to go, and I feel like it's gotten better over the years. But
absolutely, yeah.
But I think the first few episodes, it was rough. We were finding our groove.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's normal for any kind of production of any kind. Yeah. Would I go back and redo those episodes? I don't think so. No, I think we let them roll.
Yeah, I think we made the right decisions there.
Yeah. Yeah, but if Sarah and Allie from 3 years in the future showed up to the recording of the very first episode of Humanist Trek, and they were like, you won't believe this. You've signed autographs. You've done all these panels. I would be like, no.
And then
no way.
And then we'd shoot ourselves.
Yes, exactly. Like we do this week on Star Trek The Next Generation. It's Season 2, Episode 13, Time Squared.
Commander, you'll soon be getting an intruder alert.
What? We got something, sir.
Intruder alert, sir.
It's an old-style starship, sir. Constellation class, heading this way under impulse comm.
Number 1, kindly take charge of our guests until we have time to decide what we're going to do with them. Sir, number 1, keep them out of my way.
Riker is in his quarters whipping up some breakfast and like bebopping out loud as he's cooking. Love it.
Yeah.
And the doorbell rings and Geordi, Data, Pulaski, and Worf enter. And Pulaski's got a bottle of booze because McCoy with tits. And I don't and I don't know how close a look you got at this bottle. But it sure looks like the same bottle they use for Romulan ale, doesn't it?
Yes, it's the bottle that you have with the blue shit. Yeah, it's exactly that bottle. That's how they designed that bottle is a Romulan ale, except it had beer in it.
Yeah, this week it's something different. Ale from Enon 6, I think she said.
Mm-hmm.
Riker is whisking eggs, and Data's like, that seems like the most inefficient way to prepare food you could possibly choose. And Riker's like, well, listen, the replicator could do it more efficiently, sure, but then you lose the nuance and the subtleties of homemade cooking.
And I'm looking at them eggs, and I'm like, look at them unseasoned ass eggs. and they're sticking to the oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. I'm like, this was terrible. I'm like,
well, when you're cooking in a Enterprise on a hot plate, like, I don't know, you get what you get.
Yeah,
it's kind of like cooking on at the campground.
Yeah, I know. Their starship, surely they got a freaking nonstick pan with put some oil in it. Shit, I don't know. She's like gushing over the fact that he pours the eggs in the I'm like, oh, you've got a practice hand. It's really nothing. Just pour the eggs in a pan.
Pulaski laments that this tradition of cooking and eating meals together is something we've gotten away from in the 24th century. So she pulls a, back in my day, we used to sit down and eat meals together all the time. And we also get a nugget here about Riker's dad, which I think we should put a pin in until next week.
Yeah.
Because Pulaski commends Riker on this expert pouring of eggs onto the hot plate. And he says, well, we have my father to thank for that. And she's like, oh, your dad liked to cook? And we will learn next week that she knows his father, biblically.
Oh, yeah, and that's right. But she should know whether he liked to cook or not. So why the fuck is she asking him? But turns out he learned because of the absence of his father. And he had no choice but to cook. So
Worf puts his foot right in it here and says, I thought human women did the cooking.
Oh, God.
Oh, Worf, come on, man.
Oh, you've got to. He's a Klingon, of course.
But that was kind of a double faux pas because it's not that women do the cooking, but Riker's mom died when he was little. So, maybe just keep your mouth shut, Worf. Riker serves out some scrambled eggs, even though Pulaski said earlier that her ale was the perfect pairing for his omelets. But who's counting?
Do you have ale and omelets?
But this is an omelets. This is scrambled eggs.
Yeah. It's scrambled. It's unseasoned, stuck to the pan scrambled egg. Yes.
Right away, Geordi takes a bite and starts coughing, and he's like,
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
You didn't put no seasoning in there.
Then Pulaski takes a bite and makes a sour face. Cut to Worf, who is just shoveling these eggs into his face hole.
He's like, everyone's watching him, and he just says, delicious.
Picard interrupts on the Tannoy to call Riker up to the bridge, and Riker, Data, and Worf arrive on the bridge to learn that they've picked up an automated signal from a Federation shuttlecraft, which should be impossible because nobody else is out here except the D. Sensors indicate one life sign on board, humanoid, but they can't blow in a phone call because the shuttle's power is out, so they change course to intercept.
It is my understanding that in most human families, the woman shares in the cooking.
I never knew my mother. She died when I was very young.
As they're closing in on the shuttlecraft, they magnify and they see this little cardboard box out in the middle of space. They lock a tractor beam on it, and then they alert Shuttle Bay 2 to prepare for the device. And I love this shot of...
Oh, it was so good.
They switch to Shuttle Bay 2, and you get this big warehouse-looking shuttle bay. And they do the raising of the big doors and everything. I wouldn't want to be working in the shuttle bay because, if that force field fails, your ass would be sucked out.
Correction, sir. That's blown out. Thank you, Data. A common mistake, sir.
Oh, blown out. Sorry. Sucked or blown. One of those.
You don't like sucking or blowing?
No.
No, this was a great sequence. We're showing off some new Viz effects or something this week. Another thing that I noted in this sequence was I love the way that this shuttlecraft is just kind of tumbling through space. It's end over end, just kind of slowly, just kind of tumbling. I loved it.
Yeah.
I put a pin in that. We'll come back to that in a minute.
I guess that's, would that happen in space? And this is where we need our Dr. Aaron to tell us.
Well, yeah. If you had an object, and let's say the shuttle was stationary, and then something pushed it, it would continue to move in that motion through space until impacted by some other force.
Oh, that's true. Like asteroids or comets. Yeah.
Anyway, this thing comes in for a landing, and oh shit, it's Shuttlecraft 5 from the D, which also happens to be parked right on the other side of this one. So now we have two of them, and Riker and Worf are super perplexed with this and barely even notice Pulaski and her crew roll in. And they open up the passenger door, and there sits an unconscious Captain Picard. And Riker's like,
dude, this is pretty fucked up right here.
And he's like looking all gray and not saying anything. He's unconscious. And then Riker calls up the bridge and says, "Captain, are you on the bridge?" And he's like, "Where else would I be?" And, "Well, I think you need to come down to Shuttle Bay 2.
It's these moments that I pull the pin back out and I think to myself, remember that shuttlecraft that was flipping end over end, tumbling through space? That I'm reminded there aren't ever any fucking seatbelts on anything.
No.
Picard would have been flip-flopping around in this thing.
Especially if they had no power and there were no inertial dampeners to give that false gravity. They never have seatbelts. You're right, though.
Yeah. Anyway, so Riker tells him to bring Data and get down here, but doesn't tell him what's up. So we can do another reaction shot when Picard, Data, and Troy arrive.
And he's shocked.
Pulaski says there's no signs of trauma and his heartbeat is strong, but the pulse is off and his brainwave readings are strange, like out of phase. Can't do anything till we get him to sickbay, though, so they haul Alt Picard away.
But Troy, as they're hauling him away, she's like, "I've never felt anything like this, but that's you." And he's like, "No, that it can't be." But she can feel it. It's very much him as it is the man that she's standing there talking to. But of course, they've got to wait until he regains consciousness before knowing more.
That's a theme that kind of permeates this whole episode that they don't really, I mean, it's very lightly, I think, mentioned this idea that Picard just cannot come to believe that this is actually him in any kind of real way.
Right.
Unfortunately, they won't be able to get any answers from the shuttle because it still has the power loss. So Geordi's going to come down and help Data work on that. But before they all leave, Riker points out a blast mark near the door on the shuttle.
Which it's so faint. Like, what can you... But he's able to look at that somehow and tell that it was an antimatter explosion.
Yeah.
And that it was out of range? Like, what?
Like from far away? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Goodness.
Yeah. It's fucking CSI Star Trek.
I know.
Quick cut to the bridge as they resume course, and then we're back in the shuttle bay with Geordi and Data, and they're like... Hello, and welcome to Shuttlecraft Talk from National Public Radio with us, Beep and Boop, the Gold Shirt Brothers. And we're broadcasting this week from Shuttle Bay 2 on the USS Enterprise D. And the first caller is like, "Yeah, I found this shuttle on the side of the road, and it's got no power, but when I hooked up the jumper cables, sparks shot all over the place." And the guys are like, "How many miles are on this shuttlecraft? Did you try reversing the polarity? Listen, run on down to the local auto parts store and pick you up a variable phase inverter. That'll make the two power systems talk to each other in like the same language." Thank you for laughing at my car talk joke.
No, so Sarah texted me. And she says, "I'm going to make a car talk joke.
Will you get it?
Will you get it?" And I was like, "Who?" And of course she laughed because we watch shows that the other doesn't know what the fuck the other one's talking about.
Car Talk is a classic NPR show. It ended in like the early 2010s, I think, but it was like classic. When I worked in talk radio, we had our own local version of this, and I wish I could. I don't think it was called Car Talk. It was something else. But I wish I could remember what it was. Hey, maybe they're still doing it.
Car Chat. Was this in Illinois?
Mm-hmm. Yep. News Talk 1340 WSOY Decatur.
Some things never leave you if you've said it so many times.
Yep, 1,000,000 times. Okay, so we had Sport Talk. That was one I remember with Mark Tupper. He was the sports editor for the local newspaper who came in and did.
And we know you didn't.
Show.
We know you didn't talk sports ball.
Hell no. Oh my God, this is the funniest story. One time, they tried to get me to go do like on location covering a game. Yeah. Me and Scott Busboom.
You're like, are you nuts?
I'm like, y'all crazy. I don't know nothing. They put me down on the fucking sideline at a football game at Millikan University. And I'm supposed to, like, I don't know what, listen in on the plays that they're talking on the bench. I didn't know what the fuck to do or say. It was the most ridiculous thing
then
ever.
That other guy's now got the ball and running down the other side. And look, they're celebrating at the end of the field. I don't know what that's about. I can hear it. I can totally hear it.
Anyway, I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it's called. It doesn't matter. Those were good times. Meanwhile, in sickbay, Alt Picard is still unconscious, restrained on a biobed for his own protection.
But he fucked up. He is fucked up.
When Picard and Troy arrive, Pulaski explains that his vital signs are wonky. She still can't explain it yet, but he's definitely alive. And she also can't explain why he's unconscious, but she's ruled out head injury. And Picard's like, wake him up. But when she hits him with a hypo, all of his vitals start dropping. So she gives him another shot, and that brings his readings back to normal. So the stimulant that would normally have woken a human up had the opposite effect for some reason.
Yeah. So it's opposite Wednesday. That's what's happening. And they're figuring that out back in Shuttle Bay 2 also.
Yeah, back on shuttlecraft talk, they've got the variable phase inverter hooked up, which should blow out all the circuits. And here, too, things seem to be working in opposites.
They adjust the inverter, 2% positive, but it's having the opposite effect. So Data gets the bright idea to let's go 2% negative. And sure enough, that's what works. So they've been able to reactivate the shuttle, so they're going to try to get the data, but they notice that the clock, because that's always accurate on a car clock. You never have to set it.
And the power's been out? The clock should have been blinking when they turned this thing back on.
I know, like a fucking microwave. But somehow Geordi's like, hey, this is 6 hours ahead of us.
Picard is speechless, and Geordi states the obvious. If the shuttle is from 6 hours into the future, then so is the other Captain Picard.
I'm from the future. I came here in a
Federation shuttlecraft.
They try to wake Alt Picard again, and he does wake up but doesn't speak. He just kind of makes faces on the bed that kind of range from pain to confusion. And Pulaski's like, I'm going to sedate him again. But Picard Prime stops her, wants him to stay conscious for some reason. Then he calls for a staff meeting in 5, and Pulaski's going to zoom into this one so she can stay with her patient.
So in the observation lounge, that's when Geordi gets up his PowerPoint, and he's gonna show all the stuff that he's found from the shuttle logs, including the last visual records, although they're not that clear. Because they had to use a phase inverter, the logs are not that clear. But they're looking at the screen and they're seeing it through the shuttle's eyes when the shuttle leaves the Enterprise. Riker standing in the shuttle bay as the shuttle is moving away. And then they see some sort of bluish, smoky wormhole. And then they see a bolt of lightning or something, and the Enterprise blows up.
And this all took place 3 hours, 19 minutes from now.
When? Now. When? Then?
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We passed then.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now?
Soon.
Then Geordi plays back an audio clip from the last log entry recorded on the shuttle, and Picard hears himself recording a future log. I have just witnessed the total destruction of the USS Enterprise with the loss of all hands, save one, me. But this has created more questions than answers, like, why the hell would Picard be on a shuttle at a time like that and not on the bridge?
Yeah, because the last thing that the captain would typically do is leave the ship and leave everybody else to die. And I think that bothers Picard. But
a lot. Yeah. Well, this is all we have to go on for the Mo, so they tabletop this situation. The Indicor system they're heading to, nor the path between them appears to be any danger. Still no other vessels in the area. So all they can really do is just proceed as normal, presumably encounter this anomaly at some point, and one of the decisions that we make will be the wrong one.
Mhm.
All we have to do is figure out which one. Easy.
Yeah. And they could be like, well, maybe we should just stop and not go any further. But then the question of that with time travel becomes:
Mhm.
is the act of stopping still going to cause it to happen?
Yeah.
Because right now they're sitting in there with two Picards, so they're already committed to the time loop or whatever this is.
Because of the way this episode ends, I believe if they had turned around and gone the opposite direction, that Picard would have disappeared.
Yeah.
But we don't make that decision here.
He was probably gonna die anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I hate these time. There's such a time mind
Mhm.
fuck. I don't know.
Back in sickbay, Pulaski has realized that being thrown out of time is what's causing Alt Picard's systems to be all glitchy, like the recording. But as we get closer to the time he left the D, it's becoming more synchronized. So maybe when we get closer to the time that he leaves, he'll be able to tell us what's going on. We don't really know.
Yeah. Troy just is beginning to pick up more feelings from him. Just that his emotions are in a jumble, and he desperately wants to leave the ship.
So when we reach that point, whatever happened will happen again. The Enterprise will be destroyed, the other Picard will be sent back to meet with us, and we do it all over again. Sounds like someone's idea of hell to me.
Picard does a lot of walking back and forth from the bridge to sickbay in this episode.
Yeah.
Because now he's back on the bridge, but Pulaski calls and she's like, hey, can you come back down here? Damn it, woman, I just left.
They're still scanning as they're moving towards Indicor, and there's nothing to report. But Riker's like, okay, well, if this timetable is correct, something's gonna happen real soon.
Alt Picard is more coherent now. So Picard heads down, and Troy feels some feels before deciding to follow him. And she arrives in sickbay just as Picard Prime is like losing his cool a little bit, trying to get Alt Picard to tell him what the hell's going on here. And Troy has to pull him back and explain, like, listen, Alt Picard feels like he's in some kind of nightmare. Like, I would think if he does even know where he is or who's around him, after seeing them all die, he probably thinks this is like the worst kind of purgatory there could be.
Yeah.
If even anything does make sense to him at this point.
Yeah. I'm really shocked how forceful OG Picard is. He's like interrogating him. He's not having any sort of empathy or anything. Although I get it, there's an urgency there, but still, he's like, damn it, tell me what happened. What did you do? You know, that kind of thing.
I think it's a time urgency mixed with that feeling that we're going to talk a lot about of Picard of like, I would never have left the ship. That couldn't possibly be me because I would never have done that.
Right. And then Troy does say that she's sensing like that he's feeling remorse for what he saw. He saw the ship blow up. So
yeah.
And as a captain, you take that on as, I'm responsible.
And so this is when we really get into like the idea that Picard does not believe this is him. And despite all the evidence, we have medical scans, Troy's brain probing, and yet he still doesn't believe this is him. And Picard Prime storms out, assigning Troy to babysit Alt Picard because she'll be able to communicate with him before anyone, probably. And then MD and LMHC argue about Picard Prime's mental health. Pulaski thinks he's about to snap, and Troy's like, honestly, I think he's handling this pretty well, considering.
Yeah. And
explains that this whole situation has caused Picard to have anxiety about making the wrong decision.
I mean, who's to say he doesn't have that all the time? And so Pulaski sees that as, if I see anything, it's my duty as the CMO or whatever if I see him faltering at any point, I can take over and declare mutiny.
Yeah.
I'm like,
she jumps to mutiny real fast.
I know. Where's your empathy?
But she is the one person on the ship who can unilaterally remove him from command.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time, Troy is like, no, I don't think we're that far yet. Picard makes a weird stop by the shuttle bay to kind of stare at the future shuttle for a few minutes. And then we're in the ready room for a one-on-one with Riker.
Yeah.
And they're chewing on this problem by way of, let's mention every previous episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where timey-wimey things were involved. The Traveler, Dr. Mannheim and the Steamrollers.
The sling back to 1969. They used the pull of a gravitational star to slingshot around the sun to go back in time.
But none of that seems to be what's happening here. And then Riker suggests that Picard should suppress his natural tendencies. And I'm surprised the writers didn't list a bunch of times we've seen this, too. Picard obsessing over Fermat's last theorem, that weird orbit of one of the planets in the Lima Sierra system that he was obsessed in trying to figure out the puzzle. And anyway, Picard's like, oh, you mean I should sit down and shut up and wait? Riker's like, well, I wouldn't have said it exactly like that, but yeah.
And that's when they mentioned that fucking Persian flaw.
Yes. God damn it. So this being, chill and patient and waiting is not something Picard does well. And Riker suggests this may be his Persian flaw. And we'll definitely talk about this later at the Academy. But now we know that a Persian flaw is an intentional mistake sewn into a Persian rug, symbolizing that nothing is perfect except God, which is dumb. But that suggests to me that this character trait about Picard was put into him intentionally, which is extra stupid.
Yeah, I bet the writers are like, hey, let's use Persian flaw somewhere in the dialogue.
Yeah,
let's see where we can throw it up.
Somebody learned it on something like, oh, I just learned this new fact about Persian rugs. How can we put it in an episode?
I know. It makes no sense.
Anyway, outside the ready room, there arose such a clatter, so they head to the bridge to see
what was
the
matter. Worf calls down and they're all on the bridge. And guess what? An energy vortex just appeared out of nowhere. No warning. It's a really cool blue swirly upside down space tornado thing.
Yeah, it looks like a funnel cloud in space or something.
Yeah. And Riker's like, well, at least the waiting's over. Let's get down to business.
What sort of business do you suppose he is getting down to?
This anomaly is pulling on the D. And and Geordi's got the warp engines at 30% pulling back. Troy picks up a consciousness, not thought though, maybe more like instinct.
Riker thinks they're being probed.
Troy says, whatever this life form is, well, she doesn't say this, but it's probably not a very advanced life form if it's just instinct. But she says it's trying to determine if they're a life force.
Mm-hmm.
And then Picard and Riker debate this first response. Picard's normal reaction would be, let's stick around and probe it back. And, we're out here to seek out new life after all. Well, there it sits.
Oh, man. And then they play that game of, well, maybe that was a mistake. Staying too long. So maybe we should just go. He's like, I never thought I'd hear myself saying that. But dude, you guys want to live? You got to do something.
But even with warp drive at 9 on the dial, they can't break free from this thing. But then when Geordi cuts the engines, the D slips into the hole. Just the tip of the nacelle.
Just the tip. Oh, I love the visuals here were great though.
Yes.
Because you can see the ship sliding back down, and then he put it back up to warp 7 just to maintain.
But they're definitely deeper in the hole than when they started.
Yeah.
They're soaking. Mormons will get that.
So do you really think Mormons are listening to us?
Okay, Exmos. Exmos will get that. Picard decides to shoot a probe into the hole, but another little ball of light comes out and zaps it and destroys it. And then a similar light comes down out of the ceiling of the bridge and knocks Picard on his ass. But it also zaps into sickbay and lights up Alt Picard too.
He's like, ow, that kind of hurt.
Geordi says that they can only hold position a few more minutes before having to power down the engines again. So Riker orders photon torpedoes armed, and Worf's like, fuck yeah, let's shoot it. The energy beam shoots out and hits Picard Prime again before they can launch torpedoes at it, throwing him against the wall.
And Riker, in his like colloquialism, as Picard is knocked against the wall, he's like, gosh, like a rag in a dog's mouth.
Troy's got some feelings again. This being, whatever it is, was focused on the D, but now its single-minded attention is on Picard alone. So this is the moment. If it's after Picard, the obvious decision would be for Picard to get in a shuttle and get out, and maybe it'll release the D. That's what Alt Picard must have thought, and so Picard Prime gives Riker command and heads out, followed by Troy, and then they're like, well, you're going to go? And he tells Riker, we may be on a course with no way to do anything to change the outcome. We may just have to do the same things that we did before, or later, or timey wimey, whatever.
When? Then.
But the outcome didn't save the D. The D was destroyed. So we know that if Picard leaves the ship, the D gets destroyed and Picard gets saved.
Right. So something has to change.
That was personal.
Picard left the bridge. Troy left after him. Somehow, Troy gets to sickbay before Picard. Maybe he stopped in the shuttle bay to stare at the shuttle again. But Pulaski says, you know, Alt Picard is really agitated and he's saying, I've got to get to the shuttle. And so now he's talking, but he still doesn't know where he is quite yet, or he's just vaguely aware of it. But Picard tells Pulaski to just let him go. Let him go.
I fucking love this. Pulaski's like, release him. Do you know what you're doing? And Picard goes, no, release him.
Nobody, I mean, it's not like anyone would know what to do in this situation. You're just winging it. It's timey-wimey stuff.
So she tries to call security to sickbay, but Picard overrides that and has all personnel removed from Shuttle Bay 2. So Pulaski releases the force field, holding Alt Picard in place, and ordering everyone else to stay put. Both Picards leave sickbay, headed for Shuttle Bay 2. This Picard on Picard stuff was executed so well. You know, sometimes when they do this, one actor playing two characters on screen at the same time,
and they're walking
choppy, and
they're walking next to each other, and yeah.
Sometimes it's just not real great, but this was really fluid, especially for like the time, I think.
Yeah, they're walking down the hallway. OG Picard is like, "You're leaving the ship," and he's like, "I have to," and he does say the energy vortex wants him, and Picard's like, "You're certain? You're absolutely sure?" Yeah, he's pretty sure that it recognizes the Enterprise as an entity, and he is the brain.
Brain and brain, what is brain?
So that's why it wants him.
So he decided to leave in a shuttle to give the D a chance to escape, which we know didn't work, and Alt Picard knows too. But he's so like out of time. Picard Prime tries to get him to remember seeing the D be destroyed before, but Alt Picard says, but if I don't leave the ship, the D will be destroyed. He's convinced this is the only way to save the Enterprise. Alt Picard basically says the answer to this puzzle is him. Picard Prime wants to understand, does this being want you and only you, or does it want me too? But that just confuses Alt Picard. He is this single focused, he's got to get off the ship. He's got to get to that shuttle. But Picard Prime is desperate to understand why this choice was made and what other options he considered. But Alt Picard basically ignores him, opens the shuttle bay door, and prepares to get into the shuttle. All the while, Picard Prime is trying to get at this other option.
Yeah, he's saying, what was the other choice? Fucking tell me. We can't fight. We can't escape. We can't go forward. Oh, wait. Can we go forward? Alt Picard says, no, that would destroy the Enterprise. But OG Picard's like, wait a minute, was that the other choice? And then Picard 2, or what are we calling him? Alt Picard is still insistent on leaving. And OG Picard is like, no. When he did this, I was like, what? He takes out his phaser and he says, I can't let you leave. Before we can go forward, we got to end the cycle. And he shoots him. He shoots himself.
Oh my God! They've killed
Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
you, bastards!
Well, because if Alt Picard leaves in that shuttle, we know what happens. The D gets destroyed, and the D of the past encounters the shuttle, and this whole fucking thing starts all over again.
Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Picard shoots himself, and then he calls Pulaski.
He calls Pulaski down and just fucks off and heads to the bridge, leaving his other self just laying there.
Right.
And Pulaski arrives for some reason with O'Brien.
Yeah. Well,
And
is he security?
yeah, put a pin in that.
Is he?
No,
Okay,
he's
his
a transporter chief.
Oh, that's right.
Pulaski scans Alt Picard and wordlessly records the time of death before leaving again, leaving O'Brien in the shuttle bay.
Mm-hmm.
On the bridge, Picard orders the D to turn and drive directly into the anomaly, and as they do, O'Brien's purpose for coming to the shuttle bay is made clear. He witnesses Alt Picard and the Alt shuttlecraft simply disappear. That's it. The cycle is broken, and Picard heads to the conference room to stare out a window, and Riker joins him a little bit later. And Riker thinks maybe this was all a mass delusion of some kind, but Picard suggests, perhaps, that life form sent him back in time so that they could make a different choice. And Picard's like, they say if you travel far enough, you will eventually meet yourself. Having experienced that, number one, what the actual fuck?
Exactly.
Off to the next adventure.
Holy shit. What a mind fuck. Man, yeah,
Yeah.
time travel always does that to me.
Boy, I'm sure glad that's over with.
I'd be glad to be relieved of this cargo.
Me too.
It is done, and perhaps just as well.
Yeah, but you know, I learned something today.
I sincerely hope that this is the last time that I find myself here.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? You see, of all the species, yours cannot abide stagnation. Change is at the heart of what you are. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
I sure would like to know more about this whirlpool alien.
Yeah. Don't see him again, I don't think.
I like the idea that Picard assumes good intent, right? Picard assumes that this is a benevolent being, assumes that the alien was trying to give them a second chance to make a different choice.
It could very well be.
Rather than just assuming, oh, it's different. It's a different thing than us. It must be evil, which is what we do now.
Yeah.
One thing I think maybe could have been explored better was Picard Prime's whole deal. Like, I think they were trying to say, we have a Picard here who was in such disbelief that he would ever make this decision to leave the ship rather than go down with it, that he could not possibly believe that this was really him from the future until maybe halfway through the episode. And if you agree with that assessment of Picard's character, yeah, why would he have done it? Like, they try to make the case that he thought it was the only way to save the ship, but it just didn't feel really solid to me. Like,
No.
it wasn't, it didn't land.
No,
for me.
it took me, I watched it twice because I didn't even get it until the second time. Like, why was he so angry and in such denial? And then I don't think it still didn't click until later after the second watch that, okay, that's how you stop the cycle, was to kill yourself.
Mhm.
It's just, yeah.
I feel like he should have known. I feel like Picard should have known enough about himself to come to the conclusion, if I left the Enterprise, it must have been to save the Enterprise because that's my first duty or whatever. Like, that's
Right.
my primary concern, is saving this ship
Yeah.
and its crew. I think he would have figured it out.
Yeah, he was so caught up in why would I do this that he didn't think, okay, go through the reasons. Why would you do this? You would only do this if you had to. It's weird. But I mean, I guess unfortunately we all can't have we can't go back in time 6 hours and undo our mistakes, you know? It'd be nice too, but like we're making a bunch of decisions every single day that lead to something in our future.
Yeah. And even if you could go back, you couldn't, like, it would be near impossible to pinpoint, like, this is the decision that caused this, you know, like a lot of times it's clear, but a lot of times it's not.
Yeah.
So I read that originally showrunner / co-executive producer / head writer / alleged dirtbag Maurice Hurley, who wrote this teleplay, had intended this episode to lead into Q Who, where we would learn that this whole thing was Q's doing. But Gene Roddenberry put the axe to that idea. And that's supposed to explain why it feels like we end this episode with more questions than answers. We don't understand what this being was or why it was doing what it did or anything, because Mo intended it to do something different and Gene said no. Maybe we should do a deep dive in bonus episode into that guy, because holy shit. I mean, the top notes on Maurice Hurley are constantly fought with Gene Roddenberry, didn't believe in Gene's vision of the future, which is why they fought all the time, and was the reason Gates McFadden left the show.
Oh, did she come back in season 3?
Yeah, because Maurice Hurley leaves.
Okay.
Well, did anyone die in this episode?
Well, this is one of those episodes. It's got a gray area.
It is.
But I mean, technically,
I would totally forgive you if you were like, no, Picard's still alive.
No, I wrote a rhyme about it. Because he killed himself. So yeah, I wrote a rhyme about it. I had some fun with it. Want to hear it? Here it goes.
We're here together to honor our friend and comrade. We will all find time to grieve for her in the days that are ahead. But for now, she has asked that we celebrate her life with this.
Rolling through the star field and picking up a signal. They pulled in a shuttlecraft because it was in a pickle. Checking out what the shuttlecraft was doing in that hood. John Luke saw his double. He's like, damn, I don't look so good. Time travel always fucks with your brain. 6 hours from the future. Time travel just the same. They tucked him in sick bay and went through the tapes. The D blew up and only he escaped. OG Picard would continue to deny. He's like, damn, that ain't me. I would never leave the Enterprise. The wormhole came up on him and was trying to overtake. They had to figure out how not to make the same mistake. Picard number 2 had to leave. He trying to ride OG Fighter's phaser and he did a suicide. But was it suicide if it wasn't really him? It's that time travel mindfuck getting us again.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh my gosh, I had such a good time with this.
We can handle all the pleasantries later. Now, let's get down to business.
I am willing to pay handsomely for you.
I think you've had a little too much to drink.
Now, what do you know about my money?
Your money.
The money he stole!
You stole his money?
Those vouchers I gave you were every bit as good as Latinum.
You can spend Latinum almost anywhere. Those vouchers are only good at your bar.
As always, we want to thank everyone who supports the show, and a special thank you to our founding admirals at patreon.com/humanisttrek. Thanks to Ali, Peter, Sarah, Bruce, the Bear and Cured podcast, and some call him Tim. And this week we want to welcome back on board returning patron, Ensign Kestrel.
Woohoo!
Welcome
Kestrel!
back. I hope your shore leave was good and nothing crazy timey-wimey happened.
We met her at the Fort Collins Comic-Con, and she's great to talk to, was really engaged in our panel, and yeah, we could talk about Star Trek all day.
Hell yeah. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the show.
Captain, Starfleet Academy is requesting an update on our estimated arrival.
Finalists, please take your seats.
I must admit you have a very fast mind.
Once I realized it was a trick question, there was only one answer.
Although only one student will be chosen for the academy, any of you could easily qualify. Candidates, good luck.
You got called to the superintendent's office. It's a story I'd like to hear.
Becca's back now with the answer to this week's Starfleet Academy Cadet Challenge question 4. Time squared. Remind everyone the question.
During this episode, Picard admits he has trouble with waiting patiently, and Riker says that it's Picard's Persian flaw. What is the meaning of this Persian flaw Riker is referring to?
Of course, we looked this up and discussed it during the episode. What did we say, though? I know what it is now, but we said some dumb thing.
You
didn't know.
You didn't know. You just didn't give me a guess because you didn't know. You were pissed off.
The Admiral is definitely incorrect.
Yeah, we didn't know, but we know what it is now.
It is an intentional flaw sewn into a Persian rug that symbolizes that nothing is perfect except God, which is stupid.
That is exactly why I asked it, because I came across this bullshit and I went, well, if that's not the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I'm going to ask him a
Humans
question.
cannot create flawless things, is the reasoning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Stems from a belief that perfection is solely a divine attribute.
Yeah.
Total bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I mean, thanks. Thanks for that one.
Yeah. But I think, and I don't know, we won't be around to see, but I think future generations will look back at today's religious nonsense and go, that was stupid. Can't believe people believed in that, like.
I hope so.
The symbolism of like nothing is perfect is okay, but like nothing is perfect except God. Okay, that's.
I certainly hope they're going to look back and think this is stupid.
Yeah.
I really do. That means then, if so, then that means we've evolved.
Yeah. All right, next week we'll be reviewing Star Trek The Next Generation Season 2, Episode 14, The Icarus Factor. Riker's long-lost father reappears on the eve of his departure to become captain on a new starship. So I remember this. This is Riker's dad shows up, and he's got some history with Dr. Tits McCoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a history there, and Riker's supposed to go off on his new command and obviously doesn't.
I vaguely remember.
They did that Ambo Jitsu or whatever the hell it was called, where they go into the
holodeck sort of ring.
Yeah, rec room, whatever,
rec.
and it's like American Gladiator with the sticks, and they beat the shit out of each other with them.
The jousting with the soft
yes.
ends, the padded ends. Okay.
Yes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What's our question then for the Icarus Factor?
Mitchell Ryan, who played Kyle Riker in this episode. Kyle, was originally a top studio choice to play which series regular?
Oh.
Well, it wasn't Data.
No, and he's an older man. Maybe Picard.
Oh, yeah. Maybe
Regular. Don't you think?
Series regular.
Mm-hmm.
Or, let's see who else. Because I wonder if it's, I'm trying to think the only other white dude would have been Miles, or maybe he was going to be Miles O'Brien, the transporter chief. Because he's now, I feel like if it was going to be Picard, we would have heard about it, but maybe not. I don't know. I'll split. I'll just split it, and I'll say Miles, the transporter chief.
All right. Allie's going transporter chief. I'm going the captain. And you can share your answer with us by going out to your social medias and sharing this episode with the hashtag Starfleet Challenge and your answer, or give us a call at 920-550-TREK. Leave us a voicemail or a text, or you can go to our website and leave a voicemail there. And next week, we'll review and discuss Star Trek The Next Generation Season 2, Episode 14, The Icarus Factor.
Glory to your house.
Make it so, number one.
Humanist Trek is available wherever you replicate your podcasts. Follow us on all the social medias at Humanist Trek. Become a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Trek. Open hailing frequencies to podcast@humanisttrek.com and visit our website, humanisttrek.com. Humanist Trek is a production of Sarah Austin Media.